Have you ever heard the incredible story of a lost Roman legion that might have ended up in ancient China? It sounds like something straight out of a Hollywood movie, but for decades, this theory has fascinated historians and archaeologists alike. Today, we re-diving deep into one of history's most tantalizing mysteries. Did a group of Roman soldiers defeated thousands of miles from home really settle down and build a city on the edge of the Gobi Desert? Let's unravel the tale of the lost legion of Karhay. Our story begins in 53 BC in what is now modern-day Turkey. The Roman Republic, led by the immensely wealthy Marcus Licinius Crassus, was pushing its borders eastward. Crassus, one of the three members of the first triumvirate alongside Julius Caesar and Pompey the Great, dreamed of military glory to rival his partners. He set his sights on the powerful Parthian Empire, a formidable foe that controlled vast territories in the Middle East. Crassus marched into Parthia with a massive army of over 40,000 men, including 7 legions of heavy infantry. He was confident, perhaps overconfident. Near the town of Karhay, his legions met the Parthian army. The Romans expected a straightforward battle, but the Parthians had a different plan. Their forces, primarily composed of highly mobile horse archers and heavily armored cataphracts, used hit-and-run tactics that devastated the slow-moving Roman formations. The Battle of Karhay was a complete disaster for the Romans. Crassus and his son were both killed, and it's estimated that 20,000 Roman soldiers lost their lives, while another 10,000 were captured. This is where our mystery truly begins. What happened to those 10,000 captured legionaries? According to the Roman historian Pliny the Elder, these prisoners were taken by the Parthians and sent to their eastern frontier to defend against incursions from the Xiongnu, a confederation of nomadic peoples in Central Asia. They were settled in the city of Margiana, in what is now modern-day Turkmenistan. After that, Roman records fall silent. For centuries, their fate was unknown. Now let's fast forward a few decades and shift our focus thousands of miles east to the Han Dynasty in China. Chinese historical records, specifically the Book of Han, written by the historian Ban Gu, mention a strange encounter during a campaign in 36 BC. The Han general Chen Tang was fighting against the Xiongnu chieftain Jiji Chanyu in what is today Kazakhstan. During the siege of Jiji's fortress, the Chinese were surprised by a peculiar group of soldiers fighting for the Yongnu. According to the records, these warriors used a fish-scale formation. This description has intrigued historians because it sounds remarkably similar to the famous Roman testudo, or tortoise formation, where soldiers would lock their shields together to create a protective shell against arrows. The Chinese had never seen anything like it. The account also mentions that these soldiers used double wooden palisades to fortify their position, another practice common in Roman military engineering, but unusual for the region at the time. After the battle, the Han army was victorious. They captured around 1,500 of these strange soldiers and, impressed by their military skills, brought them back to China. So, where did these soldiers end up? Chinese records state that the Han Emperor established a new county for these surrendered soldiers. The name of this county? Liqian. And here's the crucial part. Liqian, or Lijian, was the ancient Chinese name for the Roman Empire, believed to be a transliteration of Alexandria, a major city in the Roman-controlled Eastern Mediterranean. It's like naming a town Rome in the middle of ancient China. For centuries, this was just a curious footnote in Chinese history. But in the 1950s, a British sinologist named Homer H. Dubbs put all the pieces together. He proposed a bold theory. The strange soldiers at the Battle of Jiji were the descendants of Crassus's lost legionaries. He argued that after being captured at Karhay, they were moved east by the Parthians, eventually became mercenaries for the Xiongnu, and were finally captured by the Han Chinese, who then settled them in a specially named county. This theory places the location of Liqian in modern-day Yongchang County, in China's Gansu province, right on the edge of the ancient Silk Road. For a while, the story seemed to fit perfectly. It was a romantic tale of survival, endurance, and a mind-boggling cultural collision. In recent decades, the village of Zhelaizhai in Yongchang County has embraced this identity. Some villagers there have physical traits that have been described as stereotypically Caucasian, such as lighter hair, green or blue eyes, and taller noses. This has fueled popular belief and turned the area into a tourist attraction, complete with Roman-style statues and a museum dedicated to the Lost Legion. In the 1990s, some residents even had their DNA tested to try and prove a genetic link to Europe. However, this is where the story gets more complicated, and where science and modern archaeology start to challenge the romantic narrative. Let's look at the evidence critically. First, the fish scale formation. While it sounds like the Roman testudo, similar shield wall tactics have been developed independently by many cultures throughout history. It's not exclusively Roman. Furthermore, the description is brief and could be interpreted in many ways. Second, the location of Lycian. While the name is suggestive, historical records show that the name Lycian existed in the area before the Battle of 36 BC. It might have been a general term for a place with foreign merchants or influence from the West, given its position on the Silk Road, rather than a town specifically founded for Roman soldiers. Third, and perhaps most damningly, is the genetic evidence. Multiple, more comprehensive DNA studies have been conducted on the population of Yongchang since those initial tests. The results have consistently shown no significant evidence of European ancestry. The genetic makeup of the villagers is overwhelmingly consistent with that of other Han Chinese and minority groups in the region. The so-called Caucasian features can be explained by the natural genetic diversity within China, a vast country with countless ethnic groups who have intermingled for millennia along the Silk Road. Finally, there is a complete lack of archaeological evidence. Despite extensive searches in and around Zhelaizhai, archaeologists have found no Roman artifacts, no coins, no weapons, no armor, no pottery. Nothing that you would expect a community of Roman soldiers and their descendants to leave behind. The fortifications described in the Chinese texts have not been definitively identified as Roman in construction. So, what are we to believe? The story of the lost Roman legion in China is an incredible, compelling narrative. It captures the imagination and speaks to the interconnectedness of the ancient world. It's a testament to how far ideas and possibly people could travel even 2,000 years ago. But as it stands today, the academic consensus is that the theory, while fascinating, is not supported by solid evidence. Most historians and archaeologists now believe it's a modern myth, a case of connecting historical dots in a way that creates a more exciting story than the facts allow. The captured legionaries of Karhay most likely assimilated into Parthian society or perished on the eastern frontiers, their stories lost to time. The strange soldiers fighting for the Xiongnu were probably another group of Central Asian or Persian mercenaries who simply used tactics that coincidentally resembled those of the Romans. But the legend of Lycian lives on. It reminds us that history is not just a collection of dry facts, but also a tapestry of stories that we tell ourselves to make sense of the past. It's a powerful example of how a small historical anomaly can blossom into a grand legend that shapes the identity of a place and its people. Whether fact or fiction, the tale of the lost Roman legion that journeyed to China will continue to be told, a whisper of what if echoing down through the centuries. What do you think? Is there a kernel of truth to this amazing story? Or is it just one of history's greatest myths? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's a debate that continues to this day. Thanks for joining me on this historical investigation. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. See you next time.